Good evening. Good evening. We are back. Yeah, so I think we've been away. I think it's 4 weeks. I know we didn't come onto the show 2 weeks ago purely that we had a couple of technical issues. But it is so good to be back. Yes, the hair show. And this is where, as you know, we discuss the big hair industry topics. And we want you to be part of the conversations. And all you've got to do to be part of this is very simple. You just got to post in the comments, and who knows, we could be flagging up some of your questions, your thoughts, and everything else. And do remember, you need to grant ECAM permission if you're watching in the How to Cut It hairdressing community, purely because that's private and it doesn't allow you. And I believe we've got the link shared in the comments. Just click on that. It takes seconds. And what that means is when we have here, Facebook user, hi, lovely. I don't know who it is, and I love to know who it is. So go and quickly do that. If you're watching on my profile Facebook group, then you have none of that problem. So who we got in the house? That's the first thing, where we saw so many of our regulars coming in. And honestly, beforehand, me and George Norman just talking in the green room, just saying how much we just love hanging out. First in, hiya Emma, one of our insiders on platform. Great to have you here, Emma. Great live she done a platform session for us all around hair systems. It was great. One of our most faithful viewers, who's been with us right from the start, Lee. How you doing? I think Lee's in the back garden with a fag and wine. Hey Janet from Pivot Point, thank you for joining us, Janet. Always good. Jez, great to see you. Jacqueline, nice to see you too. Loads of regulars. There's that link. All right, just need to click on that. Take you seconds to do, and then we'll know who's here. Love this from Ryan. Hey Ryan, let's bring that up. I've been looking forward to this all day. Yeah, we've been looking forward to it all too, because it's just where we kind of hang out and talk industry stuff. What could be better? Nice to see you along, Sophie. Yeah, great to have you here. Sassy Tiz, love that. Let's keep scrolling down. Where are you watching from? Are you watching in the back garden like Lee, or hanging out on the sofa chilling? Who else? So we've got Paul Aristides. How you doing, my friend? Paul, good to see him here. Behave, of course. Not saying he has to behave. He's a representative of Behave. Yeah, Samantha, our community manager. You're watching on YouTube, Samantha. Great to see you there. Our community manager on platform. Jacqueline, yeah, from Nottinghamshire. Becky Sutherland's joined as well. Look, I'm going to keep going. We're going to be around for a good hour tonight. We've got a great show coming up. I'm going to be bringing on my delightful co-hosts shortly, Georgia Bell and Norman. George is rocking the most divine haircut. You're going to have to check it out. And Norman is rocking a great beard too. So you're going to have to see these very shortly. They look proper good. So what we got coming up on tonight's show? So let's have a look. Yeah, as an industry, are we giving away too much for free? You know what I mean? We're all putting our content out there. It's great, but is it just encouraging people to get free content, not paying? You can have thoughts on that, I'm sure. Then our next topic, we are going, why are so many owners afraid of taking deposits when cancellation costs in our industry are costing us millions and millions a year? We are terrified of those deposits. I'm sure you're all going to have some thoughts on it. Do you do them? Do you not? Let's have a conversation about it. Topic 3, what do we got? Social media anxiety. You know it. Are you doing enough on social media? Are you absolutely hooked on it? Is it just grabbing you in and you're just worried that you're not doing as much as you should be? Or are you doing less than you should be? Going to be a great conversation. Really looking forward to this. And this one I think is going to be fun. Right at the end, you're going to have to hang around. The glory days. What made you become a hairdresser? Have a think about that. What's been your wins, your challenges? Is it different being a hairdresser now in 2023 to when you started out? There's a lot of your conversations. If there's something you particularly would like to talk about on the show, then come on, drop them in the comments. And don't forget, if you can, if you're watching in my profile, share it out and give it a like and let everybody know what a great show this is. It's, in my mind, the best show that you get live out there on social media, because it's our show, isn't it? The Hairdressers Show. Right, going to bring them on to our screens. Check out the haircut from Georgia Bell. Check out the beard and the hairy chest from Norman. Here goes. Let's welcome him. Look, how you doing?
Hi
Pair of you.
everyone.
Good
Feeling good. Right,
afternoon, good evening,
everybody, do you like
everyone.
George's hair? Put it in the comments. Let us know. Tell us who cut your hair, George.
The beautiful Vicky McKinder. She's got a company called Girl on Curl based in Chesterfield, and she is Peng.
Brilliant. Well, I've just seen Colette's just shared that in the Salon Owners United group. Thank you, Colette. Appreciate
Thanks,
your support
Colette.
as well, as always. And Norman, come on, everybody. That beard is it's looking really manly now. It's a manly beard, Norman.
Thanks,
You're a
Tom.
bear.
I didn't
Norman,
realise.
you're a bear.
He is.
Well, yeah, this is my future. You know, it's been such a talking point with my clients. I didn't realise it would start such a conversation, but I didn't realise I could actually grow one. And here we are. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments. Because I'm umming and ahhing about it all the time. It's a new look for me.
Yeah.
I like it,
And look,
actually. I really
just
like
yeah,
it.
a little bit of the Cheshire. You know what I mean?
Just a
It's
little bit,
working.
you know.
Yeah, come on. There
I'm
you go. Come on there.
I know
Well
it's
done.
live
So yeah,
TV.
I think there's some
Hey,
approving.
serious hair is mine, Norman.
Stop it, guys. You'll make me blush.
Hiya, Rachel. Lovely to see you here, Rachel. Rachel says she loves it. Lee, stunning. Colette, hot. Jacqueline, fabulous. Yeah, they like the haircut. They like the haircut. I think that's really. Uh, uh, Lee, I think I've just gone lesbian for George. Quality.
Yeah, he's always doing that. It's a thing between me and Lee that we've got going on, you know.
Hair, George, rocking it, George. Grow.
Oh,
Come on.
thank you,
What about Norman's beard? Again, we've got about 20 seconds delay, so it takes a little while from you to hear what we're saying and me to get your comments back. So I can be back. Yeah, Facebook user, go and click on eCam so we can see who we're talking to. Norman, you look so handsome.
Oh,
Some
I'm like
serious
cheesing. I'm
testosterone
like
going
I
on
can.
there, hun. Suits you, Norman. Great, great, great.
Thank you,
Keep them in.
everyone.
You're
I'm
getting the
happy to be
drift.
back.
It is good. I was just saying, Norman, you got a big summer coming up.
Yes, I'm working hard, and it's time to start enjoying the fruits of my labour. And I'm so excited to be here again tonight, back with you with my besties. And when you were just going through the topics that we're going to talk about, I'm ready to go. I always have a coffee. I don't know if this is the wisest like 8 o'clock decision, but I'm feeling chatty.
It could be a lot worse. So the
and then
coffee's
I've
fine.
just joined and
That's
had a
good.
coffee as well, just to keep up with you, Norman. So yeah, we're ready to go, aren't
Yeah,
we, guys?
let's
Before
go,
we go, George,
guys.
I just want to just level out. You are a real hairdresser, aren't you, George? You have just rocked in from a busy day.
Look at this. Look at my hands,
Come on,
guys. Look,
hairdressers.
my arms.
That's
Yeah.
Do we all
Yeah.
recognise that? The tinted hands. Good. We just see you coming there, Heather. Nice to see you, long Heather. Absolutely. Great. Well, look, yeah. Are we ready to go into our first topic of the night? Good. We'll
Let's
get
have
fired
it.
up and let's go for
Let's
it.
have it.
Yeah. So, are we giving too much away for free? I kind of wanted to bring this one up because I just see lots of education now, and is it starting to devalue the paid education, George?
It's a bit of a tough one, isn't it? I think if you are a really good educator, then you have been doing your trade for a very, very long time, and you should not be a one trick pony. Therefore, you produce lots of different courses in different fields, whether it's colour or cutting. You then sell that course, you then put a bit of that content out there and you move on. It's like an ever changing what people want to see. I feel like if you are a seasoned educator, then you will rotate your content and you will rotate your education. So I don't know, and I think you need to put content out
Are you
there
sitting
for
on the
people
fence
to
there
get
then,
in.
George?
I'm sitting on the fence for once, yeah, because I think in order for people to be interested in the education you sell, well, you need to put content out there. It's up to you what content you put out there, what you keep back, and what you put out. I think that there's a lot of people pretending to be educators that put a shit ton of stuff out there. It might not be great, but that's where I sit.
but
Sorry,
then they've got a
pardon my
platform, and
French.
everybody is entitled. Remember, Tony. Uh, if you know what I mean, George.
I know what you mean, baby.
Yeah, no, I hear that. You know, we can say about education, but everybody has a free platform. That's what social media gives us, isn't it, Norman? A platform to give education. And I just
Yeah,
wonder,
I
does a
think
hairdresser anymore have to go and attend in-depth courses when they can get so much online? You look on YouTube if you're prepared to do the hard work and just go and get it free of charge. Norman.
I think that I think it's a conversation, and I think it all comes down to the individual person. Like what I would recommend from my own experiences selling my courses is I give like a few tips away here online, but what I found the most I think the thing that sold most of my courses was building up the hype and almost like seducing your target audience. So it's almost like the reason why I think my Vivid courses sold out is because I was putting so much of that content out there. So it wasn't like I was doing more educational videos. I was just showing what I really enjoy doing and what I think that I do best. So when it came time to selling courses, people already had that idea of what I do, and that's what was more the incentive to book onto that course. But are we giving away too much for free? I think if you are wanting to sell education, just don't give it all away, rather than putting all of your tips, the whole content of your course, putting that into little reels and putting that out there. There's going to be nothing for the people to learn. So play the game a little bit, be a bit more seducing with your content. And
And I will
But do
say
you
that's
think you
where when
can
you sell
learn the
it. Go on.
techniques quite easily after seeing quite a lot of balayage and various colour techniques? Actually, the techniques become quite similar, and actually, whether you're getting that in person or you're watching that in a social reel, I think if somebody's savvy enough, they're probably thinking, I don't need to go and get this education. Are they coming on their education because they want to
uh,
get closer to the
I would
education?
say, yeah, I think to be honest, it's about, but my personal perspective is you'll never beat in person like tuition. If someone is actually guiding you through a hair technique and showing you the hand pressures and the way that someone is actually applying a color and someone is giving you feedback and critiquing you, that is totally different to what you will never find that watching a video. I mean, I hear things from stylists all the time who were from a YouTube era who learned balayage off YouTube before it even became a thing, 5 minutes before your client turns up. So you will never have that human interaction from a reel, but I think that I can see the perspective if stylists are giving away too much for free, because then there's nothing actually that they're buying into if all of it is available online.
And could I just say, George, Norman, I'm going to then there's some good comments coming in here, by the way. I'm just looking down, hence why you see me looking down this side, because this is where I see the comments coming in from everybody. Yeah, you've all got some opinions on this, which is great, and that's what we want. I think I became inspired by this conversation because I knew of somebody that was doing hair extensions, a school leaver, and they went on a quick course to do, and they now have a social media profile, and you look at it, and you kind of think, okay, they've learned to do hair extensions. All they've done is then gone away and just searched out everything on cutting hair and styling hair, colouring hair, and that's the format. I wonder, as an industry, we talk about quality education, but actually, is it now becoming so easy to be a hair professional without ever doing formal training?
But that's
George?
where, industry regulation comes in. And that's something that I know that Colette is fighting for, but that's something that's going to be extremely difficult to do. And also, whose fault is that? Is that really the little student's fault? Or is it the
No,
education board that's then put
no.
out these bullshit bits of
Yeah.
education that they then pay for and they think, oh, wow, yeah, I've gone and got this, qualification. Do you know what I mean? I suppose it's only like me looking up a recipe for spaghetti bolognese and putting in Google spaghetti bolognese
Yeah.
and seeing
But
a
ours is a
thousand
career. We're
recipes
not making
for.
spaghetti bolognese at home, are
No,
we?
I know, know that, but I'm using that as an example. Like, it's not necessarily,
Yeah.
it's our job as industry professionals to say, whoa, 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 hang on a minute. Just because you've watched This Is a Cut does not mean that you're qualified for it. It's, like, I love
But who are
my
you
juniors.
learning from? If we're all giving away free education, it's great. I know so many of you that are all watching it are absolutely amazing in the industry, and you'd want people to learn from you, people like Norman and yourself, George. But you referenced it earlier that, there's some poor educators out there, and they're just picking up bad habits from people that are just giving it free. And they're giving it free, I guess, because they want to promote and get social engagement on what they're doing. Because
And I think
let's be
lockdown
totally
plays a big
honest,
part of
the
that.
algorithm loves people showing how to do hair.
Yeah, yeah, and you've got to remember, guys, as well. There's two different types of learners. There are learners that like a subscription-based education that's available online, or the online education that was provided in lockdown, and there are people that prefer in-person education. And we've got to remember as well. I know actually from working at not another salon, Norman, there were a few people that had done some of your courses 2 or 3 times because the human brain can only take in so much information, and it's beneficial to do a course once, twice, 3 times in my eyes, because it's almost like rewatching a film. You always miss bits, you know what I mean? So it's
I think I would like to say, if someone is watching this and they're thinking, God, am I the one that's giving away too much for free? Because am I doing too much, putting too much free content out there? Then just ask yourself, what's your target audience, and are you selling what you want to sell? If you're struggling on selling whatever it is that your product is, then maybe you are giving a little bit too much away for free, and have a look at those and maybe inquire from those who you see that are actually succeeding, and see what it is that actually makes it a sellout,
I'm just going
rather
to pick
than
up
just,
what Edward. Sorry, Norma. I think you're absolutely right,
that's
and,
fine.
and well said. Norma said, yeah. Edward said, would you give cutting, colouring services free? I guess is a point here. Sophie, I know I'm scrolling way back, so I'm a little bit behind, but I've been looking through the. If you think you're going to fill your classes by not giving anything away to market yourself, you're mental. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a
You've
good
got to
point,
give something,
Sophie.
of course. Yeah, definitely.
What's Lee saying here? With George, I'm not an educator, but the people who have worked and spent a lot of money investing in themselves, teasers, good to show, but not everything. What else have we got down here? Colette, there has to be a line, or the value of the industry is eroded further. Yeah, all talk about charging their worth, yet who really values themselves? Again,
I
back to you, Sophie. My opinion is to showcase yourself as a person. Give enough to showcase your knowledge. However, don't be overdoing the how. Yeah, that should be paid for. So what we're all saying, Norman, George, is we're giving teasers into. It's almost a funnel into where you want to go.
I would
Yeah, of
say that
course.
my personal tip, if you feel like you are giving too much away for free and maybe you're not seeing the sales that you're wanting, or whatever it is that your incentive is, I always think the best thing that I've done for advertising is poking at the pain of what you are trying to sell. So for instance, if I'm selling a Vivid course, I would do a whole reel asking people, have you ever struggled in a situation that that they would struggle with? It's just about sparking a lot more emotion than giving away stuff for free.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, no,
know
I
Edward's
agree,
got
and I
Alan
think
D. Yeah, so sorry, George. I'll let you. Education is becoming as cheap as a haircut.
it depends. Yeah, yeah. I can see. I think Alan's referring to sort of these courses that you can do online where you can come away and be qualified in eyebrows or extensions or whatever it is for like 90 quid. It's ridiculous.
Sorry, I'm chuckling, Lee. You can only get 10-minute teaser on porn channel. Honestly, Lee, what are you like? It's right.
Lee's
Yeah,
having a
look,
glass of wine and a fag in
just
the garden.
Yeah.
that wine's kicking in. Come on,
Yeah.
everybody, let us know. Are we giving away too much education for free? Yes or no? So let's go round. George, yes or no?
No. Well, yes. I think yes,
You
they
think we
are
are?
actually. Yeah, I think they are.
Norman?
No, I think there's
I'm going to
too
be
many
really for it.
educators.
Go on, George.
I think there's just too many educators.
Cool. I know your opinion. My perspective on it is, are we giving away too much for free? I think it all comes down to the individual and what you want to do with your career and what you want to brand yourself as. Give Personally, I think you have to work out what you're trying to do, what your target audience is, and go from there. That's
Yeah,
just going to be the first stop, and actually working out what is it that I want to do. If I'm not getting the sales, if I'm not selling these courses, then it's time to reanalyze and say maybe I need to give out a couple of more teasers, or in generate a conversation about a pain point that someone might be feeling, as opposed to full blown tutorials which you can just watch it and you wouldn't feel the value from taking their course. There's got to be a good value in it. What can I learn from this than what I can't find on your page?
yeah.
Very good. Okay, so what we got coming in? Facebook user, yes. Go and click eCamp, then we know who we're talking to. And again, yes. Yes. Color in context depends what it is, and if an advert to showcase. I've done a huge amount of business education for free. Okay. Good. Great topic. Great one to kick us off with tonight. What's this? Definitely research the educator and what you want to learn. Cool. Okay. Right. Shall we go on to our next topic?
Yes.
Yes.
This one I see come up a lot on social. It's a well talked about conversation. Are too many owners afraid of taking deposits when cancellations are costing our industry millions and millions? And thank you, Robert, who put that question in for us. So this comes from one of our community members, Robert at Slick. Thank you. Let's start with yourself on this one, Norman.
Yeah. So I am an employee, but my boss, Sophia Hilton, she has always been very on it when it comes to deposits, and there hasn't really been any exceptions from that. So I have had a very strict boundary policy when it comes to deposits. So I'm sure we're going to come on to this in a moment, but if someone's going to pay for a hair appointment and they're wanting an investment which is going to be £500, whatever the price is, if it's hundreds and hundreds of pounds and they've booked you out for that time, we will take a deposit. The deposit has changed. It used to be either 50 or 100. Now it is half of the amount of the total bill. And our lovely manager, Bladen, he is an absolute legend. And I think he has had to learn the hard way about keeping that boundary of not being strict on the deposits. If someone's not going to come, then here's the reality: I'm losing out on the money. This is my career, and if I don't work, then I don't get the money.
So, are we afraid is probably that question. I feel like we've talked about this
Are
one
we
before.
afraid?
Are we afraid?
I am. I'm not afraid, as a stylist who is protected under this employment scheme, to talk about deposits. My salon isn't afraid to take deposits, so I can only speak from my experience. I suppose this one more is for the viewers who are watching. Does it say afraid? Afraid? Are you scared about taking deposit? Is it like, I have a friend who's a mobile hairdresser. I love her so much. She has no professional boundary with her clients because they are friends. There's no like client. They're not their clients. It's like she's doing her friend's hair, but then they just take the piss and don't pay her for months.
What's
If
an
anyone's watching
acceptable
this,
deposit then? What is an acceptable deposit to be asking, George?
I mean, I take 50. I take 50 quid. And I take 30 on rebook. So I take 50 for the initial. Usually what we do is we keep that rolling. So you can cash it in and you can pay, say, I don't know, a colour and a cut is 150 quid. I'd take 50. If you need to, you can cash it in and pay 100 at your appointment, but then you have to pay another 30 for rebook, or we keep it rolling. So you'll pay me the 50. It's stored in the computer system that you've paid that 50, and you'd still pay you 150 at your appointment, and then that 50 keeps on rolling, so you don't have to pay any more money for
What about
rebook. But if you
freelancers?
fail to attend,
We're
then
probably
you lose
talking,
it.
you're both salon based. I know a lot of our audience, salon owners work in salons. But the freelancers out there, I'd love to know, do you do this? Do you take deposits? Is it harder for a freelancer who's maybe not working within a salon, but the traditional mobile hairdresser? Heaven forbid we ever call that. But,
Yeah.
But how does that work? Does it work different? I would be really worried. And look, Colette's just put here, huge risk to freelancers. Why is that?
I don't think the majority of
So my
freelancers carry it. Sorry, Norman.
I was just going to say, my friend, who I feel is constantly being like taken advantage of as a mobile hairdresser. I'm talking classic mobile hairdresser from the car with her suitcase in people's homes. She's constantly being taken the piss out of by her clients who she believes are her friends, and they are both. What I suggested for her is next time she creates a booking, because she is scared of asking for deposits because she thinks it's just she doesn't feel comfortable doing it. I suggested, why about next time someone books in with yourself, you just send a really cute professional message, put loads of emojis in there. Thanks for booking. This is your time. Just to make you aware, for future bookings, I take X amount of deposits. This is just because of this. Thank you so much. Kiss, kiss, kiss. If you're scared of it, just wrap it up in a nice bubble.
Yeah, Jacqueline, who is a freelancer, I take off new clients. So new clients, not existing clients, because
Yeah, but often you
do
find
you know
it's your
what's the
existing
difference
clients
if
that
a
let
if
you
a
down.
regular client phones up and says, I just can't make it today, things come up. Are you going to be? What you're saying is new clients, you should have to pay, but you're regular. Well, we don't take a deposit. I mean, that could be a fine line, I guess. So somebody may get quite offended. They say, why new clients are not regulars.
I
Good
just think
point.
it should be the same rule for everybody, really.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we don't just do it for a laugh, do we? This is a business. But I think the reason why, and some people are afraid to take deposits, is we are people pleasers and we just don't like upsetting people. We're chatty people, we're friendly, we get to know people on a level which is more than Sandra that works behind the counter at the co-op or in the bank.
We moved on
We
from
get to know.
Barbara to Sandra.
Yeah,
It
well,
was Barbara last time.
whoever it may be, we get to know people on a level, and therefore sometimes we don't want to upset them. But I think it's more, we should start looking at it like a business and not, we're not just, we're doing it for a living, right?
Yeah, there's some
To make a
absolute you
living.
lot tonight.
I
Are
think it
really
comes down to
gone.
it just comes down to expectation from the start. I think if you have a new client, you can create these boundaries from the start. So it doesn't need to be an awkward conversation from the future. It like
Mm.
you can see it as moving into a different phase of your career, that you are stepping up that professionalism when it comes to money. Because we talk about money, at the minute, and that's like not the most comfortable thing to talk about for some people. But if you have a new client and you're scared about taking deposits now, you can just set that boundary in from the very start, and then they will never know any different.
Yeah, I tell you why I'm having a deja vu moment, thinking if we covered this before. We didn't. We covered about putting our prices up and
Yeah,
how
yeah.
uncomfortable we were about putting our prices up. Why are we just so uncomfortable? Are we just pleasers? And that's our problem as an industry. We want to make our clients who become our lovely friends and family, that we can't do this to them, surely. Is this our problem with our industry? We're just not hard enough. We're not ruthless enough. Look, putting out, this is how much it's going to cost. This is a deposit. You do. But, it's, I think we're just such a lovely crew of an industry, and that's maybe a problem for lots. Because I know lots of people that don't charge deposit. And there's probably a lot of people watching right now who don't, and probably think, oh, should I be? And actually, no, I can understand why you don't, because we are afraid. We're afraid of doing it. What's the reaction going to be? Am I going to lose clients? Let's just go through with the comments, Norman George.
I just want to say, it definitely sorts out the time wasters by taking deposits. We automatically think that actually, oh my God, this person might be offended or might not come back. Well, that person that is sending you 10 messages a night on Instagram or Facebook that's bartering prices, or that's asking what they get in a service, or people that just walking off the street and say, how much is this going to cost? Well, I tell you what, just being transparent and taking a deposit definitely sorts out the people that are serious about an appointment and the people that aren't, therefore saving you loads of time and conversation that you don't need to be having on an evening.
Yeah. I want to pull in some of these comments here because, they're really good. Again, I don't know who this is, but we're taking a booking fee deposit for every service. If they don't pay, we remove the appointment. I don't have a front of house. How can I do have a front of house who controls that? Yeah. Mustafa, you always give me loads to say after, but I never get time. Surely it's about creating the right culture, worth time, and clients alike. So deposits are not as necessary. I don't charge deposits at my salon. Thank you for being honest here, Mustafa. At my salon, and it's been extremely rare to not have a client show up. And when they don't show, they have called up and paid 50%. We have been lucky. But it's about curating your salon culture. Yeah, great point. Thank you. Really good, like that. Colette, they have no. I think this is back on the freelancer, isn't it? They have no protection, no backup, and they are the salesperson, the stylist, and the enforcer. So they are always put in an awkward position. Average losses for freelancers, £500 to £700 a month. Okay, freelancers may have something different to say. You don't know. Samantha, who I know is a freelancer, 25 years. I've never taken a deposit. 3 strikes and you're out. But that's a heavy loss as well, though, isn't it, Samantha? If you get to someone's house and they're not in, and you lose so much time when you're travelling, don't you? You know, it's where you're in a salon, it's one person, next person. But I guess as, somebody who works on the road, and look, I'm not against it. My mum, who'd be watching, was a mobile hairdresser for many years and was very successful at it. Can be a challenge.
What I'd like to know, actually, and maybe it's a topic for future, is do people charge for consultation?
Well, that's a good point as well. Maybe that's another conversation for another time, actually, because that's time, isn't it? Yeah, I know some people will take a deposit for the colour, but we can come into that. The Salon Durham takes deposits off all new clients. Again, I just saw Nicola. You said that we can now see it. There's the link. Let's see somebody else. What else have we got? Just increased my prices and was shocked as nobody complained. I don't think people do. Like I say, we shouldn't be. Somebody, again, Facebook user, please go and click on those eCam links that Dave's putting in there. I can be a softie, but I'm getting better. Yeah, good. It's not easy. It really isn't easy. We're people pleasers, for sure. Nikki Allo, have a seat. Hey, Nikki. I'm a freelancer and don't take a deposit. For new clients, I do charge a consultation fee, which comes off their appointment. My booking system takes confirmation, and if they cancel within 24 hours or don't show, they get charged. There are ways to get around this, however. Yeah, great to hear your different idea. This is what the hair show's about, isn't it? This is about us as hair industry professionals to talk different angles, different views. This is where we've gone, and this is why we all love doing it. Nicola, I do free consultations. Time is money, as mentioned in our podcast today with Paul Davis. He talks a little bit about that as well. We always have that debate in the salon about consultation charges. I think we should, because it's our time that's being used. Yeah, I think we can certainly go with that. Great topic. Again, should we be taking deposits? Yes or no? Feel free, put them in the comments. Be interesting to see. No, I'll tell you what the question is. Do you take deposits? Yes or no? George, do you take deposit?
Absolutely.
Norman?
I don't personally take the deposit, someone else deals with it for me. But yeah, we do.
And when I do my days on the salon, no, never took a deposit. I have to be honest. So there we go.
Good to know.
Right, let's go to the next topic. Okay, Norman, lead us away with this one.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about social media anxiety. So, I suppose this one is mainly all about conversations from all of our lovely viewers tonight. It's the elephant in the room, isn't it? It's like social media, it's planned literally to be addictive, to keep you scrolling at the screen. Like, I struggle with this all the time. And I just find myself constantly on my phone thinking of the next thing that I need to put out there to maintain like a relevance, to ensure that you are constantly promoting yourself in your career so that you can benefit from it. And I want to know if people are doom scrollers, when you're just looking at your phone late at night for hours. Georgia, Dom, are you these people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I just want to know what like the mental health repercussions are. I was doing a little bit of research on this earlier, and literally on social media, you get a dopamine release when you receive likes. So it's like constant pushing to put
Gratification.
put
Yeah.
yourself out there. Well, how are you protecting yourself? Like you hear people when they say, "Oh, I'll put my phone across the room late at night so that I don't go over to it." I've never done that, and I just was on holiday last week, and it was so nice to put my focus on that holiday and then to come back into it and to think, oh, here we go. Here's the second job. Because it is like a second job, right? But anyway, I want to know in the comments, what are we doing to protect ourselves with social media anxiety? Are you taking a break from it? Do you struggle with the pressures to feel constantly keep up with it? I wish I had the answer. This is probably why I'm asking for it.
I think it's a great topic, Norman, and thank you for sharing that. And um, I had this conversation some years ago with my brother in social media in its very early days, and they're very good on that. You imagine the psychologists that work behind these social media companies. They are
Yeah.
absolutely analysing every element of our lives. Data is being, I'm sure they're listening to us as well. I think we could all probably
Mm.
talk about, we've been talking about sync and Habeas, so it comes up on your phone sometime later. Those little red buttons are those warning signs, and they get us to go in. They get us, and we just love it. It feeds everything that we, as a society of people, as mankind, humankind, are just drawn to it. We're just drawn to feeling everything we put out there. We want to know, is it popular? Is it well liked? And
Yeah.
I just, I think it is totally unhealthy for our psyche, but we're all getting drawn into it. George.
Yeah, I mean, I think what is bad for our mental health is not necessarily thinking about what can I do next or the content that we're doing or the social media that we're doing. I think what's unhealthy for your mental health is thinking, I hope this gets the gratification that I want. I hope it gets the comments. I hope it gets the likes. I think the key really is to obviously it's got to be relevant to your brand and what you're doing. But I think, like I always say, your vibe attracts your tribe. So I think instead of people pleasing, it's great to put content and social media out there. It might not get, the certain brands interested in me, but it sure as hell gets bums on seats or it gets certain brands interested in me. And I'm always doing it more for what I like, whether it's putting the odd inappropriate song on or what while I do my stories. But I do it more for me and my brand than I do to please others. And if people like it, great. And if they don't, jog on.
How many? I'll probably ask you to, and everybody that's watching. How often in your yeah New Year's resolution or wherever it comes around have you said, right, I'm gonna not go on my phone or look on my phone for 5 hours?
Never.
or 2 hours. You never do that. You never feel you
My
go on it
New
too often.
Year's, my resolution last January was to post on Instagram every day because I wanted to grow my brand and be more popular online so that I got more benefits from it. I
So
don't post every day because I can't be asked anymore, but that definitely was an incentive that I wanted to push myself more so that I'd be open to more opportunities. A bit of
Yeah,
a
and I
lame
think that, but
resolution, but it is starting to
I
work
don't think
out.
it is. I don't think it is a lame resolution at all. I think you are starting to get the fruits of your labour, and I think and I think that there's nothing wrong with having something like that as a resolution because it's not for attention. It's not for anything. It's to be more successful and to be more
Mhm.
recognised. And if that's the thing that makes your cogs turn, and that's what you want, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. What
how
is
does it
bad for mental
affect
health is scrolling.
how does it affect your well-being state when you don't have post? And I'm talking about one post here, Norman, George. You both got big followings. You both have huge engagement, and your engagement may be a lot higher expectations to those that are starting out. Is there part of you, if you put a post out and it just isn't well received, the views are low, does that have a bad effect on your psyche? And I'll ask you that, Norman.
Probably not because I know there's a new one out the day after.
So it
And
doesn't worry
if
you.
you, um, does it worry me? No, no, because I know that there'll be another one, and it keeps you on the algorithm. If you still put a post on that doesn't do well, you're still getting that marketing tool that social media is.
I'm not so convinced on this. I guess it is convinced, but does it? I'm going to ask because you're not another, and you're an incredibly talented
Yeah,
hair colorist. But do you think that helps that leverage for
thank
you
you.
to really get out there and to have a big profile that
Oh,
somebody else looking in
totally,
and would say
totally.
it's a struggle for me, and you start to become feeling not as valued as somebody like yourself. So somebody might have some problems looking in on someone like you, Norma and George, and they think, why are they getting so much traction and I'm just
Well, it's
not?
taken me 7 years of working with the same brand that I had to really study what the branding of the salon was. And I knew that I wanted almost like a spin-off page from the salon's page to my own variation. And I knew that's something that I wanted to work on. So it hasn't been an overnight success. It's been something that I've had to work towards for a
What
really,
about you,
really long
George?
time.
Does it have an
Yeah,
effect on you, George? And I'm going to bring in some
I was
comments
just
in.
sorry. I said it's all well and good, like people thinking, why aren't I getting where I need to get? But there's always a lot of hard work behind these things. They don't just happen overnight. If you want real traction and real engagement, then you've got to be on it, and you've got to be consistent all the time. Sorry, John. What was the question? What did
Well,
you just say to
just
me?
you're pretty much answering it anyway. I mean, just that are you affected by something that just doesn't get traction, engagement?
No, I'm nearly a 36-year-old bloody woman. I'm not going to be affected by something that doesn't get traction and engagement
How
on the
about
internet.
abuse?
I think if I'm going to listen, I've had plenty of like non well received posts and stuff. You're talking to Queen of 'em. I feel like if I'm going to put myself out there, then I'm opening myself up to be either susceptible to be well received or not so.
Mm.
And if I get abuse, then block and buy, baby. Do you know what I mean?
I've got to
Yes.
say,
Block and buy,
it caused
baby.
I had
The
serious
three
social
B's.
media anxiety back in New
Bye.
Year. Um, when you lose a social media profile because it's been hacked, I'm telling you
Oh, I'd be
Oh,
that is
well
social.
pissed about
That
that.
is
Like that'd ruin my
well.
life.
Could you imagine if that happened?
Well, it
no.
happened to you, didn't it? Nearly.
We did. I mean, my
Yeah.
Facebook got hacked. Um, they posted in a random name. in the end, somehow I bounced back onto Facebook and all seemed fine. But because my Instagram account was linked, they took down my Instagram account with no warning, purely because it had been spam. And I know that that's happened to 2 other people, and it's becoming more and more common.
I'd
What
be fuming.
protection
If that
do
happened
we
to me, I'd
have?
be fuming.
Well, livelihoods are built on
Yeah.
social media.
That would give me bad mental health.
And they've got us all in a trap. I'm telling you right now. They are controlling every aspect of what they want us to see. You know, I saw on a Facebook group page, do you want to see less of this post or not? Why should Facebook be controlling all this? It's just, I find it absolutely outrageous that they're controlling so much of it. But anyway, I'm going off on a tantrum. But it did stress me out.
But here we are, like that we are presenting on Facebook.
We are presenting on Facebook, absolutely, but they're deciding what gets used and what gets served out, what they don't. Yeah. I hate actually having to go through these platforms because we are all drawn to it. And people say to us, well, can't you put this on Instagram? Why are we all so slave to these places? Because it brings us our rewards, our feed, and then sooner or later they're going to charge you.
I think the moral is to you know, remember why you're doing this. You know, be consistent with the brand that you've got, and just be you, like, and not be don't get sort of sidetracked by what views you're going to get or the audience that you're going to reach. Just be you, and if people want to dance to beat your drum, they will, and if they don't, they won't. And then if you only do
I have a real love-hate with this stuff. I've got to be honest. And I've been on social media a long time now. I mean, I've gone through every platform, Facebook on its arrival, MySpace, Twitter.
MySpace.
Yeah, you know, I've gone through the whole shebang of every social media platform. And, you know, I've got to be honest, I'm getting a little bit bored of Instagram right now because I find it becoming too predictable. I find it becoming too the samey. It's what's really catching our attention. Is that because I've been on it a long time? Is it because we're on it? But look, I'm just going to pick up on the comments.
I think so. I think it's been around for a long time. I think it's the same with dating apps because they're shit from experience. I think the dating apps they've gone on for too long. This is sidetracking. If anyone agrees with me, let me know in the comments. They've been out for too long. Everyone's been on them for too long. They're not the same. Same with Instagram.
Let's have a quick look at the comments. It's a great topic, Norman. Thank you for bringing this. I'm averaging about 7 hours a day on socials. Yeah, come on. All put an honest time. How long have you been
what's your screen time?
Yeah, I think I'll be pretty similar.
I find my screen time? How do I know that?
You will get it once a week on your phone, but go on the settings and type in screen time. Anyway, Mustafa, what does that
Mustafa
say?
always comes up with real thought-provoking stuff. There is a statement, the media is a message. It doesn't matter what you're engaging with. It's the fact that media is dictating our habits. Yeah, I agree with this. They are dictating our habits and by the way our behaviour.
It's another reason why, you know, all the younger generation, juniors that are coming in, if you think about it, with this scrolling, we've only got an attention, these new kids that are coming in have got like a 5-minute attention span. So everything has to be quicker in the way in which they learn. Like, you know, my kids can't even sit and watch a full film anymore because they just want it done in 15 minutes.
Good point, Emma. If the media is free to use, you're the product. I agree. Yeah, it's free. You are the product. You don't own Nelt. You own zero of it. That's the reality of it. The people that own, and actually you don't own any data. You don't own nothing that it'll give you some sort of stats to keep you kind of happy. But you own nothing. It really, yeah.
Sometimes I just wish I had a quiet life.
But this
mountains,
is what I mean. It's a
everyone.
social media anxiety of all this, isn't it? Can I keep up with this? The changes of it? But
do you know what? After this show, I've got about 16 messages I've got to reply to for appointments. It's a double-ended sword, isn't it? Because it helps to make us a living. And I think even though I do this show, after this, I'm going to answer these messages and I'm making money. And I like that. Do you know what I mean?
But you're a slave.
Someone else said 7
hours.
hours.
Not resting. You are a slave to social media and messaging. You should be able to switch off work, surely.
Well, I
Why are
can if
we
I
sitting?
want, but I
But
can
that
if I
can't be
want,
good
but
for
I've
your
got stuff.
psyche. Surely we should be spending time with our family and friends and engaging in the moment rather than booking. Surely work time. Are we an industry now that's got working 24/7 because we come away and we're on our phones and we're on our social media and I've got to create content. You're no longer just going. If we all gave up this stuff, imagine how much easier your life would be. And I
It
think you'd
would,
still
but
be really
surely,
busy.
surely,
I
surely,
still think
that
you'd
is
be packed out.
it's the life choice, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's up
It
to
is. I think we
us when
should.
we
It's a lifestyle choice, and I think
yeah,
we
yeah, 100
we should do a
100%.
hair show retreat, a little weekend there.
It's a good look. It's a good topic. I just think Jezport social media means you can post and go global. To who? Who you going global to? People that don't
The
really
last
care
post
because
went viral.
it's gone viral, but it's served out to loads of people who don't actually have any interest in what you're doing. And I think you're better off having 20 people really interested in what you're doing. That would be, because that's what they want, don't they? Joe the public sees your post. I mean, as a brand, I think it's very hard to get your social media viral because they want you to pay for it. But anyway, good, great topic. So are you spending too much time on social media? Yes or no? Norman? On spending too much time on social media?
Yeah, I am, but the question is, I do think I spend a little too much time on social media. Am I okay with it? Most of the time, yes. Some of the time,
Okay,
no. That's why I spoke about it tonight.
good. George?
Yeah, but I like it. So yeah,
Sometimes I
and
love coming
Yes,
home from a
but
big day.
I find it becomes a bit of a chore in what we're doing because are we putting it out there for everybody? We're just thinking about people at the end of it, or are we putting it out there because we feel that that's actually content that's going to give some quality to somebody's life, or are we just doing it because it gives us more people and money and all those things? What value? What's the legacy that you're going to leave with this social media? When they look back on your feed and they can see it and they'll say, "Wow, what a legacy these people have left."
listen, as long as the social media that you're doing is useful and it is to do with what you're doing, I think that's unfair, Dom. Actually, I think that's a really
Dom,
unfair
I
comment.
love our legacies. Me and Georgia, we're going to live on forever with our legacies,
I
aren't we,
love it.
babe?
I'm building a true Northern
I do.
legacy, and I know
It
all
makes
the
me chuckle.
hairdressing trades are going to look
We're
down on my
absolutely
page and think,
obsessed by
"Fucking hell,
social
that
media,
woman."
but we are on social media. It's fun. It's a great topic, and I like social media too. I have to be honest. But let's mix it up a bit as an industry. Come on, it's getting a bit dull. Okay, let's go to the next.
Noted.
No,
Yeah,
because
ouch.
I just find I just think we're not moving on particularly with it. I can't wait for something like the metaverse to start coming in and shaking things up, and AI, whether you like it or not. That's when this is. I think social media is going to start looking old hat soon. But that's just me, and I'm going to be first in the queue for metaverse. I think that's exciting. I
I'll
think
be
everybody can do social
I'll be
media, but
joining you on the metaverse train. Get my
Let's
metaverse,
go
yeah,
space.
to the
there's a
metaverse.
conversation. We'll have that. Yeah, metaverse. I think we need to move on again. Okay, the glory days, and again, Norman coming with this. He's still in the show tonight with his topics, but I love this. What
Yeah.
made you become a hairdresser? Your wins and challenges, and I'm going to ask all of you watching. I want you to
I
answer what
sorry,
made you become a
can't help
hairdresser.
myself.
And I'm going to ask Norman that question firstly.
Thank you, Tom. I wanted to lift the mood, end on a high. I feel like some of our topics on the hair show, they're quite deep because we really wanted to work out more the emotional side sometimes with our industry. So let's talk about the glory days. So some of my favorite people are those real seasoned queens, like this lady I work with, Claire. She's been hairdressing for literally longer than I've been alive. And I just look at her with so much admiration and respect. And some of these topics are quite heavy that we talk about, but let's talk about the fun stuff. Why is it that you got into hairdressing? What was it like when you were training? For me, I remember, I don't know if you guys are familiar with a hairdresser called Tabitha Coffee. She used to do a hairdressing, like Gordon Ramsay TV show where she would go to these um like lower end salons, and she would Gordon Ramsay bitch the hell out of these stylists and slap them silly. And I used to watch her and like be in awe about how she loved being the top of her game, top notch hairdresser. And she would go there and they would cry and Tabitha, I can't believe you're here. And I wanted to be like her, you know. I wanted to be the best that I could be. And I remember being in the salon, the environment, and I wanted to be in the top salons because I wanted to be the best that I could be. And anyway, why did you guys do it back when you were training? What was your incentive? Because
George, come on,
let's
you
talk
can
about the
answer that
glory
one.
days.
Industry answer or real answer? There were two reasons. So I remember being a Saturday
Both.
girl. Yeah, and I remember being a Saturday girl. I remember everyone that I worked with was older, and every weekend I used to go to a club called Gatecrasher in Sheffield. And
Gate
if
crasher,
I
wow.
ended up going to be a hairdresser, they used to be able to get me a Gatecrasher even though I was 16. So I was like, I'm all about that life, mate. So I definitely want to be a hairdresser because I want to be in clubs every weekend. But no, really, I'm a little bit older than you. Well, I'm a lot older than you, Norman. So there was a program back in my day called The Salon. You'll remember this, Dom, won't you? And everyone
I
that
certainly
worked
do.
on the salon was just really cool, and just it was just great to sort of like transform people and like really help not just the
Yeah.
hair but their lives. And I just associated hairdressing with socializing, being chatty. Back in the day as well. Saturdays were a real thing in the salon, weren't they, Dom? Like everyone used to come in, get hair ups, get curls, ready to go out, party hair. The music used to be blaring, and it used to just be a proper
Yeah.
little family vibe. And I just thought, I want a piece of this. It seemed like a career where it's just this closeness. There's this little family that's created within this salon that you work at, and I just love that. And I wanted to
I
get a
get that,
gate
and I
crasher
think that
every
actually, when
weekend.
people talk about getting people into the industry, George, I think that's a lot of people probably of your sort of generation that watched the salon, and we had Lee Stafford, the Paul Merritts. It was all very rock and roll, wasn't it? And you kind of crave for that sort of a global audience again. But I guess we'll never get that because our viewing habits have changed. We're all on social media now, so we don't watch TV programs like these. But it actually did bring in lots and lots of people into the industry because it showed it. And actually, I think the salon was the one program that came really close to showing the real vibe of a salon, what a salon life's like. And so often, and I know in the early days of the hair show, we done the salon box, didn't we, George? And we kind of
Yeah,
had this
yeah.
vision of kind of going in and just filming a salon life for what it really is. And it's super cool. Yeah, brilliant. I guess if I would say for me, it was just growing up 4 generations. My mum had a salon, and it almost put me off the life. Really, if I'd be totally honest, it was hood dryers and traditional. It was a traditional local salon, but proper busy. She built a great salon, and I remember that careers day moment. Where you have it with that family conversation. What are you going to do, Dominic, when you grow up? And I was like, I don't know. And they said, do you think about hairdressing? And I kind of thought, yeah, that sounds kind of okay. And then I started to just read the journals. Then I went to Salon International as a 14-year-old with me ma in Earl's Court, 1984.
Uh,
And I remember just being blown away by the educators, the platform. I fell in love with the industry rather than the chair. And I think it's only natural that I've come back to doing this type of stuff because I'm in love with the industry rather than that behind the chair. But I still love the people pleasers, that's kind of how I got into the industry. And there's
And
been
I
times
also
I've fallen.
go
Yeah,
on.
go on, George.
I said I also like the fact that actually like you go through people's lives with them, like your regular
Yes.
clients.
yeah.
You see them have babies, you see them get married, you see heartbreak, you see happiness, you see
Oh,
and I
it's the best.
it's the best, and it's also sad at the same time. Like you literally there's no other industry I don't feel like that goes through all of that. Probably another reason to why we don't want to take deposits, going back to original topic, because
Yeah.
we get to know these people on a different level, and it then
You,
becomes
I,
difficult
you,
having difficult conversations.
Norman.
I used to say, like, one of the things that I loved, because my sister's a hairdresser, my older sister, and I watched her do, I asked her to show me, like, a curly blow dry technique with a round brush, and I must have been about 13 or 14. And I remember she blow dried a section of a dolly's head, and it came out in a perfect curl spiral, and I was like, wow, I want to do that with my hands. That looked really cool. And just the fact that you could create something with your hands that I didn't know how to do. And I just thought that was really, really cool. That it's a skill. I wanted to learn a skill. Everyone always tells you when you're hairdressing, oh, you can take it anywhere. You really can. I wanted to be a part of it. And what you said about the salon environment as well, like I love when clients tell you their baby names and they've not told anyone. I love when they show you their wedding dresses and they're not going to show
Yeah.
anyone. You really get like all access granted into their lives. Anyway, what are the comments saying, Dom?
Well, that's what I meant, but thank you again. Great comments, great points. I fell in love with cutting. I've got to be honest. Cutting was. Let's go right back. So
I didn't.
Sophie came in with the first one. I worked a Saturday and turned to a stylist and said, "I can't believe you get paid to do this. Never look back. I've been hairdressing 28 years. Every day's a new day. Love that. Just bottled that one up for." Lots of people to read. My dream as a kid, this is from Colette, went for an apprenticeship at 16, didn't get the job, so went into accountancy and law, then came full circle after losing my mum and trained at 40. That's what I love as well, Colette. I know you came into the industry later, but that's a thing that we should be trying to actively encourage as an industry now. I think this isn't just about young people. This is about bringing in maybe people that have gone through life and maybe wanted to do hairdressing but were put off because they saw it as a career that wasn't good. I think it could help us go forward, actually, trying to get in maturer people into the industry would be great. I fell into this from Ryan. I fell into hairdressing accidentally. I was a bit of a challenging child in school and got sent to college one day a week amongst other naughty kids. I think a lot of us were naughty, Ryan. I'll get you on this. To do level 1 hair, and absolutely loved it. And here I am 8 years on. Brilliant. Loved that. Thank you. Nicola, I only ever wanted to be a hairdresser. My mum took me to the salon when she had her hair done. I always wanted to be like the hairstylist. Also, my mum used to cut my hair and wanted to save people from some hair disasters, home hair disasters. Yeah, brilliant. What about Lee? What's he put here? Seriously, I saw you
So
comment earlier.
nostalgic.
Seriously, as a kid, I was obsessed by my mum. Went for her princess soap blow each week. Sorry, I'm reading this terribly, and was mesmerised, got me a Saturday job at 14 in a salon. Next 29 years is history. I'm obsessed as a day one after all these years. Brilliant. No, I think that's great. And
That's lovely.
we all must be, mustn't we? Because we're all sat here talking. I think a lot of people, when I've interviewed them on a podcast, and many say that hairdressing, whilst it's challenging, it's difficult and it's tiring, does become a bit of a hobby for a lot of us in its own silly, unique way. Ryan,
and do
I
you know
look
what?
after.
No day's the same, is it? Like
Yeah,
every client that you've got is different, and there's so many industries where you repeat the same job every week, and we don't. I mean, yeah, it is repetitive in the sense of we're doing hair, but everyone's needs are so different, and that's why I've never got bored of
Yeah.
it.
love this. So I'll bring that up again. From 7 years old, I wanted to be. My Barbie dolls had always new hairstyles. Had them being 14. I modelled for Tony and Guy Education at the salon. At the salon I work at now, and remember the razor cut and the whole vibe of it. Absolutely, I fell in love with that Tony and Guy 90s hairdressing. That for me, just it was all about cut. That's actually when I said about socials got a bit bored. I'm getting excited again because there's a lot of the cutting coming in, and as a cutting fan, I'm loving watching. Like George's hair, I absolutely love George's hair because it's an exciting cut, and I think I'm excited by haircuts right now because they feel fresh to me again. But then, hey, I'm a 53-year-old bloke. I'm not relevant anymore on that. But yeah, no, becoming a hairdresser was my childhood dream. Brilliant. Love that, Janet. Yeah, great stuff. I think that's so good. We need to let the people hear he is. How you doing, Justin?
Hi,
I came into hairdressing because I thought it was going to be easy, yeah. Cried through my training, but obviously fell head over heels with the industry. And it's thanks to people like you guys for always inspiring and supporting me. Hair family. That's lovely, Justin. You're
We love Justin.
He was great at the hair show, Justin. You're always welcome to hop in. I'm absolutely... To Lee's just asked, Dom, do you still do any clients? Yes, I absolutely do. I do on a Wednesday and a Friday morning, and always been a busy hairdresser. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I still do clients. Where are we? We are creative counsellors. This is good.
Love
yeah,
that.
my careers teacher said I should be a secretary or join the Navy. I told him I was going to be a hairdresser. He said, you don't want to do that. You'll get nowhere. I sometimes wonder if he's ever walked past my salon. Yeah, go Nicola, love that. Sadly, that's too often. We all know that exists, don't we? That it still gets very much looked down upon. But hey, we don't care. We all know it's pretty fine, and there's lots of challenges in there. Jez, yeah, let's see this. Jez has a lot of grew up in family business, fell in love with the buzz atmosphere. Yeah. I think that's
definitely.
come here. So I'm going to go through these comments because they're great. Julie, I can write a bestseller about the glory days, clawing your way up to the top. Everyone trying to shag the boss, not me. So there'd be a top dog. Very good. I never know what I'm going to read here. I'm sort of just reading it fresh as it's on the screen. Everyone was so competitive, but when the end of the day came, especially on a Saturday, it was party time. The social side of it was unreal. Yeah, you get that, Norman? George?
I love when you all are going out together on a Saturday night and you get like the dirty tunes on in the afternoon and everyone's getting ready to finish the working week. It's a good vibe in a salon.
Oh, we used to finish work on a Saturday at 4, and then we'd go straight to Gatecrasher and be walking out 6 o'clock Sunday morning, mate.
I recognise you.
The social side. I'd love to talk about the social side of hairdressing. Actually, I think that'd be a great topic, wouldn't it? And
I want to talk about work parties, hairdressers' work parties, best stories. That's our next one.
I can't repeat any of mine.
Okay, so everybody, before we end, maybe you could just put them in the comments. What would you like us to talk about? What would be a topic that would be worthy of bringing to the hair show? Yeah, it's been really good. Time's just gone away really quickly again. We're getting near 15:15, so I guess we're going to have to round things up tonight. Great night. Look, really good. I think I've enjoyed that. Let's take that one away. We don't need that there. We'll get rid of that there. Well, it's good. Where do you stop?
Great. Yeah, where do you stop?
I've been.
Time's a ticking, and I need my tea.
It's great, and I think, like I say,
she's got to get to social media.
Yeah, loved it. Thanks, guys. Look, honestly, everybody, thanks. They another great show. Thanks, everyone. Well, I hope you like this format. We certainly enjoy this, and we feel that this is so much what it's about. We are going to be fortnightly. I know we've been a little bit hit and miss, just purely because there's been a lot going on. Did you try the quiche, the coronation quiche, George? Did anybody like the coronation?
Who wants a broad bean, tarragon and spinach quiche? Come on now.
Yeah, who actually tried that? Not me. But well, look, wicked. George, Norman, thank you so much. I don't know who's joining us, so we'll be back again in 2 weeks. That's not a bank holiday, is it? 2 weeks' time?
It's 29th is a bank holiday, isn't it?
So that's next weekend, isn't it? Another bank holiday.
Is it? Yeah, it will be next weekend.
Yeah, so we'll be back on that Monday, the first Monday in June, I guess, isn't it?
Perfect.
Maybe Rihanna, Norman, who knows? But we're all going to be back here. The hair show is here to stay for sure. It's a pleasure hanging out with all of you. So thank you. It's a pleasure as always, George, Norman. Love it. And
the hands.
Go and get it on your social media.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Remember to say
love you all.
There you are.
Bye bye.
See you later. Put your mute on. Then you can say what you like about me now. Great. Look, wasn't that great? Great show. I had an absolute blast hanging out. It's a real pleasure. It's a pleasure to see you all come in. It feels very much like a family. And getting your comments coming in is what's so good. I just have a smile. I know Norman and George have a smile on this. So, yeah, we'll be back on the Hair Show. You can watch this, as you probably already know, as regulars. Watch it in the Facebook group, or you can watch it on my profile, and we're also on the YouTube at How to Cut It. But I think most of you just come in as everything else. And yeah, look, you've always enjoyed it. Thank you, Lee. Big gloves. Yeah, really enjoyed tonight. We did. We'll see you 2 weeks time. Keep a check of everything that's going on. Platform is also going to be opening its doors, and that's for all of you that want to go real deep into the industry. Got some great things planned there, but the hair show's to stay. So until next time, peace, love, and smiles all the way. Goodbye.